The House will come to order. The Pledge of Allegiance this morning will be led by Zainab Al-Assad, Epsi Bryan, Alonzo Buckley, and Arnaz Martinez.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Kohler, please take the roll.
Representatives Becker, Buck, Buckner, Conti, Coram, Court, Del Grosso, Dorr, Duran, Everett, Exum, Fields, Fisher is excused. Foote, Garcia, Gardner, Representative Gardner, excused. Giroux, excused. Janal, Hamner is excused. Holbert, Hollinghorst, Humphrey, Joshi excused. Kagan, absent. Kraftharp, Labuda, Kagan is present. Landgraf, Hamner is present. Representative Landgraf. Representative Giroux is present. Landgraf is present. Lawrence. Present. Lepsock. Lee. May. McCann. McLaughlin. McNulty. Melton. Mitch Bush. Moreno. Murray. Navarro. Nordberg. Pabon. Peniston. Pedersen. Primavera. Priola. Rankin. Rosenthal. Ryden. Sane. Salazar. Schaefer. Scott. Representative Scott. Scott. He's not on approval. Absent. Singer. Sonnenberg is excused. Representative Gardner's present. Representative Scott's present. Stevens. Swam, excused. Zabo. Representative Zabo. Present. Tyler. Vigil. Waller. Williams. Wilson. Wright, excused. Young. Speaker Ferrandino.
Curtis Lee. Good to see you in place today.
Thank you so much for all those commendations.
Yeah, no problem.
The kids that are here today, the ones that you got all the commendations for, so it was well worth it, and they're so tickled.
I bet.
So thank you so much for working so
problem.
hard on those. I know it was a lot of them, so
That's all right.
no, you did great. So thank you very much.
What are we at? With 61 members present, 4 excused, the quorum is present. Representative Rosenthal.
Good morning, Mr. Speaker.
Morning.
I move the reading of the Journal of Thursday, March 6, 2014, be dispensed with and approved as corrected by the Chief Clerk, Marilyn Edens.
You've heard the motion. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, no. Representative McNulty loses. The motion is adopted. Announcements and introductions. Representative Rosenthal.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members, I'd like to introduce some students who earned commendations for their excellent work in their schools academically and in gym and just being all around good students, showing good character. And they're all from schools in Southeast Denver and House District 9. So all the students and their parents, if you'd please rise and we'll all recognize you. So good job. Good job. Thank you.
Representative Cora.
Good morning, Mr. Speaker. Thank you. I would like to take the opportunity to acknowledge a fine group from Grand Junction Chamber of Commerce to my right. Many of you had the opportunity last night to attend the chamber dinner. I assure you it is second to none, and they truly know how to put out Western hospitality. So thank you for being here.
You're lucky, Representative Corum. I don't know if that was outside the rules, so I wasn't paying attention. Representative Ryden.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members, if I could have your attention for just a moment. Members, I have two announcements. One is next Friday, we will be doing a resolution for the University of Denver's 150th anniversary. And if you can say sesquicentennial, please go ahead and do that. I do want to make sure that we have all of the DU grads on this resolution as co-sponsors. So if you have not told me yet, please do let me know. It could be undergrad, law school, business school, any of the DU schools, the Women's College. So please let me know today if you would. Secondly, you're going to see a flyer on your desks for the Colorado Air Patrol. And Monday, we will be recognizing them, and we will have a group coming in. And those of you who are not yet members, if you want to join, you should have an application and a letter from me sitting on your desk. And if you don't, let me know. And if you do want to join, please fill that out and give that back to me. Thank you very much.
Representative Waller.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Don't sound so excited to call on me.
I'm just waiting for the bad joke.
Wait. Mr. Speaker, I don't know any bad jokes. I only know pure gold.
I thought you were just the bad joke, maybe.
You know, members, I'm just going to let that go. And I was going to talk about the bipartisan nature of the DU resolution and how important it is for everybody.
Let's just remember who represents DU. That is in my district, so someone else is carrying the resolution of something in my district.
And Mr. Speaker, I just wanted to, talk about the bipartisan nature of the university that's in your district. In fact, I wanted to illustrate just how truly bipartisan it is to be a DU alum. When I was at the University of Denver College of Law, there was a young up-and-comer that ran for student body president. And I'm embarrassed to mention this, I voted for him. It was Joe Salazar, that's right. I have grown since then, and I don't think I'll be making the mistake again, but it did happen.
Representative Everett first, and then we'll go to Representative Salazar.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to correct Representative Waller because it's Student Bar Association president, and he should know that from actually going to DU Law School.
I thought he was actually student body.
No more. Okay. Representative Mitch Bush.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Good morning, everyone. It is snowing in the mountains. It is snowing in Route County. It is snowing in Eagle County. It's snowing in Summit County. It's snowing all over. It's going to be a great weekend for skiing, so head on up. And, of course, I'd be remiss if I didn't say that Vail and Beaver Creek are awesome and Steamboat's awesome. And I know others will tell you how awesome their skiers are, too. So have a good weekend.
Representative Court.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members. I have a relatively serious announcement. On Tuesday, we're going to be doing the memorial for former Representative and Senator Ken Gordon. If any one of you knows someone who would like to be here, please let me know. We're trying to figure out seating. The way it will work is that Senator Stedman will start it in the Senate, just introduce it, but everybody will be here for the event because we're a larger chamber. So please let me know if you know anybody who would like to be here so we can be sure to have sufficient seating for everyone, especially former reps or senators from either side of the aisle. Thank you.
Representative Young.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Colleagues, I'd like to recognize two good friends of mine that are here today. Please acknowledge former Mayor of Greeley, Tom Selders, and former President of the Greeley Education Association, David Delgado. And, Mr. Speaker, I have my wallet out.
Representative Young, you'll be fined $2.
Gladly.
Any further announcements or introductions? Representative Gardner.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I request personal privilege.
Representative Gardner will be granted a moment of personal privilege. Members.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I would myself ask members of the House who are speaking to give me your attention because I have requested personal privilege concerning procedures of the House and the committee. Members, some of you will recall that last year I also requested personal privilege, and I do so again this morning to address the conduct of the Appropriations Committee. Members, you know, my friend and our former minority leader, Mike May, was very famous for saying that the minority only has a few things. One is the calendar and the other is the rules. And we have an obligation. Each of us has a constituency of some 77,000 Coloradans that we represent. And my constituency is very different than many of yours. And I have, as to the best of my ability and consistent with my oath, a responsibility to represent them to the best of my ability. And I do so in my committee assignments. This morning I made a motion, a substitute motion, to lay a bill over one committee meeting to allow for its possible amendment. My guess was, when I made that motion, that the majority, since it was a procedural vote, would have every opportunity to simply reject my motion and to do so. But instead it was ruled out of order. And I was informed that the chair has absolute discretion to do whatever the chair wishes to do. Now, having been a chair, members, I know that the power of the chair is strong. But if it extends to the chair doing whatever the chair wishes to do at the whim of the chair, then there are no rules. And if there are no rules, members, there is nothing but the tyranny of the majority. There is nothing but abuse of discretion. There is nothing but silencing those of us who represent other Coloradans. And I really need not remind you, but I hope our members of the Fourth Estate are listening and will report to the people of Colorado that once again, as we experienced last year and as resulted in recalls and resignations in the other chamber, the majority has chosen to use the rules and to use its discretion in an unbridled way to silence the minority. Now, I have no illusions, members. Much of what happens here was decided on November 6, 2012. And I have no illusions about being a member of the minority. But I have had some illusions that the rules of the House mattered, that when something was in order, that the chair would not exercise discretion to call it out of order because that's the chair's unbridled discretion, and that there was comity and respect for other members. And finally, members, I hope that the statement that was made by our distinguished chair that in future in appropriations, that discretion would be exercised to call things out of order, motions that would otherwise be in order, in the interest of time, which would once again shut off the debate, which would once again take us down the road of a majority that stifles debate, that acts with the tyranny of the majority, and not the collaboration of a bipartisan House. Mr. Speaker, I know that it is not your policy. I have been privileged to serve with you. I make this plea to the majority that you recognize that the minority represents much of Colorado. We represent citizens just as you do, and they ask us, they insist on a daily basis that we represent them. We represent them by making motions that might be inconvenient, by asking questions that might take some time. In fact, by holding up the calendar at times, because that is not what they wish, it is what others wish. It is how our Republican democratic form of government works. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
We'll proceed to our next order of business, third reading of bills, final passage. Mr. Kohler, please read the title of the House Bill 1042.
House Bill 1042, Representative Sane, also Senator Toctrop, concerning access by birth parents to records relating to the relinquishment of parental rights in connection with making an appropriation.
Madam Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move for the adoption of House Bill 1042 on third reading and final passage.
Seeing no discussion, the question for the House is the passage of House Bill 1042 on third reading and final passage. Mr. Kohler, please open the machine, and members proceed to vote. Representative Giroux and Scott. Close the machine. With 61 aye votes, 0 no votes, 4 excused, and 0 absent, House Bill 1042 is passed. Co-sponsors. Close the machine. Mr. Kohler, please read the title of House Bill 1257.
House Bill 1257, Representatives Sonnenberg and Nordberg, also Senator Ballmer, concerning the authority of the state auditor to conduct a performance audit of the Colorado Health Benefit Exchange.
Madam Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move for the adoption of House Bill 1257 on third reading and final passage.
Seeing no discussion, the question for the House is the passage of House Bill 1257 on third reading and final passage. Mr. Kohler, please open the machine, and members proceed to vote. Representative Waller, close the machine. With 60 aye votes, 1 no vote, 4 excused, and 0 absent, House Bill 1257 is passed. Co-sponsors. Close the machine. Mr. Kohler, please read the title to Senate Bill 43.
Senate Bill 43 by Senator Grantham, also Representative Priola, concerning the inclusion of certain land areas used to grow products that originate above the ground within the classification of all other agricultural property for property tax purposes.
Madam Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move for the adoption of Senate Bill 43 on third reading and final passage.
Seeing no discussion, the question for the House is the passage of Senate Bill 43 on third reading and final passage. Mr. Kohler, please open the machine, and members proceed to vote. Close the machine. With 61 aye votes, 0 no votes, 4 excused, and 0 absent, Senate Bill 43 is passed. Co-sponsors. Close the machine. Madam Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that the following bills be placed on special orders today at 10 o'clock. And parenthetically, members, just so you know, we are moving the two bills that are listed on second reading today into special orders. And then we are moving all of the remainder of the bills calendared on your calendar for Monday, except for the first two at the request of the sponsors. So that will be the special orders, and as a part of the motion, I will delineate them now. So special orders will be House Bill 1141, Senate Bill 95, House Bill 1136, Senate Bill 112, House Bill 1105, Senate Bill 24, Senate Bill 31, Senate Bill 97, Senate Bill 121, Senate Bill 138, and Senate Bill 96.
Seeing no objection, the bills listed by the Majority Leader will be made special orders as of 10 a.m. this morning. Madam Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, so that I won't answer any more questions about this, and so you all know, it's my intention to get us out of here in pretty good time this morning, and if we don't, we will just lay over the remainder of the bills till Monday. Thank you.
Okay. Being 10 o'clock, we will move into second reading of bill, special order. Representative Court. Seeing no objection, the House will resolve itself in the committee of the whole for consideration of special orders. Representative Court will take the chair.
Whoops. The committee will come to order. With your unanimous consent, the bills will be read by title unless there is a request for reading a bill at length. Committee amendments will not be read unless requested, as they are printed in your bill folders and on your iPad. Floor amendments will be shown on the screen and on your iPads and not read unless requested. Bills will be laid over upon motion of the Majority Leader. The coat rule is relaxed. Mr. Kohler. Are we ready? Mr. Kohler, please read the title of House Bill 1141.
House Bill 1141 by Representative Quorum concerning the confidentiality of Social Security numbers under the Colorado Consumer Protection Act.
Representative Quorum.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move House Bill 1141 in the committee report, State Veterans and Military Affairs.
Thank you. Please proceed.
Thank you. In committee, we added a couple of amendments. Putting the prohibition in paragraph does not prevent an entity that is required by law, rule, or government or accreditation organization's recommended program of legal compliance to require a member of its board of directors to provide Social Security numbers to use to check the government background database. And also page 2, that would violate the Privacy Act of 1974. And Madam Chair, I have a couple of amendments. This was an issue that we talked about in committee. We met, thanks to the governor's staff, we met with department heads and came out with a couple of committees, and I would move L004 and ask that it be displayed.
Please display L004. It's been properly displayed and moved. Discussion about L004. Representative Quorum.
Thank you, Madam Chair. That was one of the discussions that came from departments where they have to, they need those numbers to reimburse, and so that was one of the amendments that came out of L004.
Any further discussion about L004? Seeing none, is there objection to L004? Seeing none, L004 is adopted. Representative Quorum.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and I would also like to move L005.
Is L00? We haven't got it yet.
All right. Madam Chair, that L005 is to the bill, so I would move to adopt the committee report.
Okay. Is there objection? Is there further discussion about the committee report? Seeing none, is there objection to the committee report? Seeing none, committee report is adopted. Representative Quorum, now to the bill.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and I would move L005 as an amendment to the bill.
All righty. Let's display L005. Properly displayed. Representative Quorum, would you like to explain L005?
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is just a clarification that unless federal or state law requires such disclosure, if federal or state law requires disclosure, then this will clarify that you must provide that Social Security information.
Thank you. Is there further discussion on L005? Is there objection to L005? Seeing none? Oh, sorry. Oh, yeah, all in favor, sorry. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? I was doing it like we do in committee. Thank you. L005 is adopted. To the bill, Representative Corum.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I think this is a bill that has been certainly talked about in the past, where Social Security numbers have been abused, leading to theft, identity theft, various things. It's also been used to basically take people that may not be one on the committee and use that because of their objections to take them in. So with that, I would ask for a yes vote.
Thank you, Representative Corum. All those in favor of House Bill, excuse me, 1141, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, no. The ayes have it. House Bill 1141 is adopted. Mr. Kohler, please read the title to Senate Bill 95.
Senate Bill 95 by Senator Cafalas, also Representative McCann, concerning the ability of prescription drug outlets and compound drugs for distribution to Colorado Hospital.
Thank you. Representative McCann.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move Senate Bill 95, and there was no committee report, so.
All righty, please proceed.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Colleagues, Senate Bill 95 will address a possible shortage of drugs that hospitals suffer sometimes because of their inability to stock compounded prescription drugs. These drugs are needed by hospitals to create a prescription drug in a specific concentration form that is not otherwise available from a manufacturer. Under current law, hospitals cannot keep a stock of compounded preparations, which often causes delay in providing needed drugs to their patients. So this bill will allow them to stock compounded drugs. It passed out of committee 10-0. We had several witnesses supporting, including the Hospital Association, the Colorado Pharmaceutical Society, and RX Pharmacy, as well as DORA. So I would ask for an aye vote on Senate Bill 95.
Thank you. Is there further discussion on Senate Bill 95? Seeing none, all those in favor of Senate Bill 95, please say aye. All those opposed, no. The ayes have it. Senate Bill 95 is adopted. Madam Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move to lay over House Bill 1136 until Monday, March 10.
1136 will be laid over at the request of the Majority Leader. Mr. Kohler, please read the title of Senate Bill 112.
Senate Bill 112 by Senator Stebbins, also Representatives Duran and Giroux, concerning requirement that all financial assistance awarded from the Public School Capital Construction Assistance Fund under the Building Excellent Schools Today Act be subject to annual appropriation.
Representative Giroux.
Thank you, ma'am.
Duran, sorry. Here comes Representative. I was looking up and saw her coming.
I move.
Representative Duran.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move Senate Bill 112.
There is no committee report.
Thank you. Please proceed. Representative Giroux.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Members, this is a very slight change to the Building Excellent Schools Today program. I don't have my bill folder with me, so I may have to speak slowly. But it's a very good bill. We all love the Building Excellent Schools Today program. It was heard in committee yesterday. And the one thing I wanted to make very clear, Representative Court and I had a conversation about protecting the integrity of the Building Excellent Schools Today program, and that is the essence of the bill. I ask for an aye vote.
Thank you. Representative Duran.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And I do have my bill folder in front of me, so I did just want to encourage the members to vote in favor of this. This was a JBC bill. It's going to increase oversight by the JBC and also ensure the program will maintain a sufficient balance to sustain COP payments. I ask for your support.
Thank you. Representative Giroux.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And just to cut to the chase, members, what this does is since it allows the General Assembly to provide oversight with it's going to be primarily the grants, because we've capped the COPs at $45 million and they've hit that cap. But what this will allow us to do is make sure that we maintain the integrity, that those cash grants are there. You all are aware that the medical marijuana or the recreational
marijuana constitutional amendment allows for the first $40 million to go to the BEST program. And so it is the Joint Budget Committee's intent that when those Building Excellent Schools Today programs come forward, that we will be looking at the dollars. We will not be looking at the particular projects. We're not looking to micromanage. I ask for an aye vote.
Is there further discussion on Senate Bill 112? Seeing none, all those in favor of Senate Bill 112, please say aye. All those opposed, no. Senate Bill 112 is adopted. Mr. Kohler, please read the title of House Bill 1105.
House Bill 1105 by Representative Mitch Bush, also Senator Todd, concerning the exemption from the state gasoline and special fuel tax of sales between governmental entities.
Thank you. Representative Mitch Bush.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move House Bill 1105 and the committee reports, committee report from Finance and the committee report from Transportation and Energy.
Good. To the committee report, please, Representative Mitch Bush.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This bill passed out of Finance 12-0. I would ask for a favorable vote on the Finance Committee report.
Transportation, I said the wrong word. To the Transportation Committee report.
Oh, there isn't a report. Oh, thank you.
To the Transportation.
Sorry about that. There was no finance report. The Transportation report. Let me explain what happened and I moved the Transportation report. And let me explain what happened in Transportation. There was one amendment that was brought to essentially clarify that this kind of intergovernmental fuel sale is just that. It is between governments to lead to more efficiency between governments and to save time and money. It is not to be a fundraising effort for local government. I would urge an aye vote on the Transportation report.
Thank you. Is there further conversation about the Transportation report? Seeing none, all those in favor of passage of the Transportation report, please say aye. All those opposed, no. The Transportation Committee report is adopted. Now to the bill, Representative Mitch Bush.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This bill, House Bill 1105, clarifies and codifies what has already been existing practice for a very long time between local governments, ranging from counties to municipalities to metro districts, fire districts, and to Colorado State Patrol. Essentially, as you all know, these kinds of entities do not have to pay the fuel tax. What this bill clarifies is that they can sell each other, quote unquote, fuel without paying that fuel tax between them because they already have the exemption. This bill then leads to greater efficiencies, especially in rural areas of Colorado where Colorado State Patrol, fire districts, and others have to travel great distances to get fuel without this kind of intergovernmental cooperation.
Thank you, Representative Mitch Bush. Further discussion about House Bill 1105. Seeing none, all those in favor of House Bill 1105, please say aye. All those opposed, no. Hearing no nays, the House Bill 1105 is adopted. Thank you. Mr. Kohler, please read the title of Senate Bill 24.
Senate Bill 24 by Senator Tocktrap, also Representative Scott, concerning the responsibilities of certain entities in managing volunteer firefighter pension plans that are affiliated with the Fire and Police Pension Association.
Representative Scott.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Senate Bill 24 came from a interim committee. It's called the Police Officers and Firefighters Pension Reform Commission.
Representative Scott, please move the bill.
Oh, I'm sorry, Madam Chair. I move Senate Bill 024 and the committee report.
Thank you. Now please discuss it.
Thank you, Madam Chair. As I was saying, this is an interim bill. There was a cleanup bill for the pension fund for volunteer firefighters. The bill has passed Senate Business and it has passed House Finance, and I would ask for an aye vote.
Thank you. Is there further discussion? Representative Labuda.
Uh-oh.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just wanted to say that this bill did pass House Finance. It passed unanimously, and I urge support of this bill.
Thank you. Further discussion on Senate Bill 24. Seeing none, all those in favor of Senate Bill 24, please say aye. Any opposed? Senate Bill 24 is adopted. Mr. Kohler, please read the title of Senate Bill 31.
Senate Bill 31 by Senator Tocktrap, also Representative Rosenthal, concerning modifications of the administration of old hire police officers and firefighters pension plans.
Representative Rosenthal.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move Senate Bill 31.
Please continue.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Senate Bill 3031 relates to modifications for old hire pension plans, and it comes from the Interim Committee on Police and Fire Pensions, and it passed out of the Finance Committee unanimously, and I ask for the members' support.
Thank you. Is there further discussion about Senate Bill 31? Seeing none?
Thank you.
All those in favor of Senate Bill 31, please say aye. All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Senate Bill 31 passes. Representative, Mr. Kohler, please read Senate Bill 97.
Senate Bill 97 by Senator Talkdrop, also Representative Hamner, concerning the immunity of public agencies against liability arising from the wildfire mitigation activities of insurance companies.
Representative Hamner.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move Senate Bill 97. There are no committee reports.
Thank you. Please, to the bill.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Senate Bill 97 comes to us as recommended from the Wildfire Matters Interim Committee, and it clarifies the roles and liabilities of public firefighters and private firefighters that might be hired through a private insurance company. And I ask for your support of Senate Bill 97.
Thank you. Further discussion about Senate Bill 97? Seeing none, all those in favor of Senate Bill 97, please say aye. Any opposed? Senate Bill 97 passes. Mr. Kohler, please read the title of Senate Bill 121. Oh, whoops, sorry. Madam Majority Leader.
I move to lay over, let's see, what is it? Senate Bill 121. Yeah, Senate Bill 121, one bill.
Thank you. Senate Bill 121 will be laid over at the Majority Leader's request. Mr. Kohler, please read the title of Senate Bill 138.
Senate Bill 138 by Senator Kafalis, also Representative Sonnenberg and Foote, concerning civil immunity for community volunteers assisting at an emergency.
Representative Foote.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move Senate Bill 138, and there are no committee reports.
Thank you. Please proceed.
Members, this is a bill that came out of the Flood Disaster Study Committee. It will help volunteers that respond to a disaster and help protect them from civil lawsuits. So Representative Sonnenberg and myself would ask for an aye vote.
Thank you. Representative Sonnenberg? No. All those in favor of Senate Bill 138, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Senate Bill 138 passes. Now we'll go to Senate Bill 121. Mr. Kohler, please read the title.
Senate Bill 121 by Senator Lambert, also Representative Young, concerning financial assistance for local governments after a declared disaster emergency.
Thank you. Representative Young.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move Senate Bill 121. There is no committee report.
Thank you. Please proceed.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Members, this is also a bill that is supported by the Flood Disaster Study Committee. It is giving the governor authority to assist local entities in the matching funds for FEMA. I ask for your aye vote.
Further discussion about Senate Bill 121? Seeing none. All those in favor of Senate Bill 121, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Senate Bill 121 is adopted. Now, Mr. Kohler, let's go to Senate Bill 96. Please read the title.
Senate Bill 96 by Senator Crowder, also Representatives Exum and Pedersen, concerning renaming state veterans nursing homes to veterans community living centers to more accurately reflect the wide array of services provided to state veterans.
Representative Exum.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move Senate Bill 96. There's no committee report.
Great. To the bill.
Thank you. This is a simple bill in changing renaming the State Veterans Nursing Home to the Veterans Community Living Center to reflect the array of services that they are currently providing and to adapt to future service needs. And I would ask for an aye vote.
Thank you, Representative Exum. Further discussion about Senate Bill 96? Seeing none, all those in favor of Senate Bill 96, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, no. The ayes have it. Senate Bill 96 is adopted. Madam Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move the committee rise and report.
Seeing no objection, the committee will rise and report.
The House will come back to order. Mr. Kohler, please read the report of the Committee of the Whole.
Mr. Speaker, Committee of the Whole begs leave reports under consideration of following task bills being second reading thereof and makes following recommendations thereon. House Bills 1105 amended, 1141 amended, passed on second reading and order gross place on counter for third and final passage. Senate Bills 24, 31, 95, 96, 97, 112, 121, 138, passed on second reading and order revised to place on counter for third and final passage. House Bill 1136 laid over until March 10th, retaining its place on the calendar.
Representative Court. You've heard the motion. There are no amendments at the desk. Mr. Kohler, please open the machine and members proceed to vote. Representatives Giroux, Kraft, Tharp, Stevens. Close the machine. With 61 aye votes, 0 no votes, 4 excused, and 0 absent, the report of the Committee of the Whole is adopted. Message from the Senate.
Mr. Speaker, the Senate has adopted.
The message from the Senate will be printed in the Journal. Introduction of resolutions.
Senate Joint Resolution 17 by Senator Schwartz, also Representative Hamner, concerning national fish hatcheries in Colorado.
Madam Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move the House suspend the rules for immediate consideration of SJR 17.
Seeing no objection, the House will suspend the rules for immediate considerations of SJR 17. Mr. Kohler, please read the title to SJR 17.
Senate Joint Resolution 17 by Senator Schwartz, also Representative Hamner, concerning national fish hatcheries in Colorado.
Representative Hamner.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move Senate Joint Resolution 017 and ask that it be quickly read at length.
Do it as quick as possible, Mr. Kohler.
Whereas sport fishing routinely draws more than 725,000 participants in Colorado annually, constituting an important component of Colorado's economy, with angler expenditures exceeding $645 million in 2011. And whereas Colorado Parks and Wildlife received more than $13 million of revenue from the sale of fishing licenses in fiscal year 2012-13, a significant portion of the agency's budget. And whereas trout produced in both state and federal hatchery systems and stocked into waters throughout Colorado are important in maintaining sport fishing and its economic benefits. And whereas the continued operation of the Leadville National Fish Hatchery and the Hotchkiss National Fish Hatchery is essential for the Bureau of Reclamation to fulfill its ongoing obligation to mitigate the negative impacts on fish, wildlife, and recreation created when federal reservoir storage facilities were constructed. And whereas the greenback cutthroat trout, Colorado's state fish, was listed by the United States Fish and Wildlife Service as endangered.
Mr. Kohler, could you hold on 1 second? Members, we are dealing with a resolution. Can you pay attention and show some respect? Thank you. Representative Kohler. Mr. Kohler.
Whereas the greenback cutthroat trout, Colorado's state fish, was listed by the United States Fish and Wildlife Service as endangered in 1973 and downlisted as a threatened species in 1977 due to the successful conservation efforts by state and federal agencies. And whereas in 2009, following a 5-year review, the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service determined that the greenback cutthroat trout remains a threatened species due to new threats to the species, including the effects of fire and chemical retardants used in firefighting, increased human population growth within the range of the subspecies, the introduction of non-native species, the fragmentation and genetic isolation of small populations, and the effects of global climate change. And whereas, based on current scientific evidence, only one natural greenback cutthroat trout population exists in Colorado, and greenback cutthroat trout management relies on efforts by the state and the Leadville National Fish Hatchery. And whereas the Hotchkiss National Fish Hatchery produces trout to fill needs for federal water development projects throughout western Colorado and northern New Mexico, and plays an important role in fulfilling the mitigation responsibility from the construction of federal reservoir storage facilities such as Blue Mesa Reservoir. And whereas the Hotchkiss National Fish Hatchery stocks rivers and reservoirs throughout Colorado's western slope with more than 342,000 fish per year, yielding 171,000 angler recreation days. And whereas the Leadville National Fish Hatchery, established in 1889, has stocked waters in Colorado, including military establishments on the Front Range, and in 2001, such stocking created an estimated economic benefit of $3.5 million from recreational fishing. And whereas the Leadville National Fish Hatchery has been successful in rearing and propagating cold water fish, including the threatened greenback cutthroat trout, and serves a key role in returning this fish to its home waters. And whereas the United States Fish and Wildlife Survey recently completed a study predicting that the closure of the Leadville National Fish Hatchery, coupled with funding cuts to the Hotchkiss National Fish Hatchery, will curtail the stocking of Colorado's waters, entailing a loss of associated economic benefits. And whereas the continuation of the Leadville National Fish Hatchery's role as a trout production and recovery facility and the extension of current funding levels for the Hotchkiss National Fish Hatchery are extremely important to Colorado's economy, sport fishing, and the greenback cutthroat trout's recovery. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Senate of the 69th General Assembly of the State of Colorado, the House of Representatives concurring herein, that the General Assembly supports the continued operation of the Leadville National Fish Hatchery and urges the United States Fish and Wildlife Service, in partnership with Colorado Parks and Wildlife, to maintain its current mission of stocking Colorado waters for recreational fishing and the recovery of threatened and endangered species, that the General Assembly supports the operation of the hatchery and adjacent federal lands in a manner that promotes public recreation and scientific research and educational activities, that the General Assembly urges the Bureau of Reclamation to honor its obligation to mitigate the impacts resulting from federal water projects, that the General Assembly urges the Department of Natural Resources and Colorado Parks and Wildlife to work with the United States Fish and Wildlife Service to protect the operation of the Leadville National Fish Hatchery and the Hotchkiss National Fish Hatchery. Be it further resolved that copies of this joint resolution be sent to all members of the Colorado delegation to the United States Congress, the Secretary of the Interior, the Director of the United States Fish and Wildlife Service, and Governor John Hickenlooper.
Representative Hamner.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And colleagues, thank you very much for listening to Mr. Kohler read the resolution. I know this resolution might not rise to the level of importance that some of you who have sponsored other resolutions have, but this is really important. And this has to do with the fact that in Colorado there are only 2 national fish hatcheries. I wanted to see how many times Mr. Kohler could say that. And they are in my House district. One is in Hotchkiss and the other one is in Leadville. Both of these are also in Senator Schwartz's Senate district. And it has come to our attention through a recent report and study at the federal level that these valuable assets in our state and in these communities are at risk of severe funding cuts or, in the case of the Leadville Fish Hatchery, potential closure. And I do think this will be devastating not only for those communities, but to the future of Colorado state fish. And that's our greenback cutthroat trout. And I also wanted to emphasize, as Mr. Kohler said in the resolution, sports fishing has a huge economic impact in Colorado. The Leadville Fish Hatchery is a valued gem in the small community of Leadville. All of the 5th graders participate annually in a field trip to the fish hatchery where they learn about what's going on there. I personally had the opportunity to visit. It's really an amazing resource. It's also a park, and I just think it would have a devastating impact not only on the communities but in the serious work that is going on there to maintain this habitat and this valuable resource. So really hoping that through this attention that this resolution coming from Colorado to the U.S. government will have an impact and encourage them to rethink any possible downsizing or closures of these national fish hatcheries. And I ask for your support.
Representative Rankin.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise in support of the resolution. Although these hatcheries are not specifically in my district, many of the fish swim their way into my district. So this is for the fish. What I would like to point out is that we as a state spend a lot of money on our own species protection fund, and our Department of Natural Resources does a wonderful job of stocking streams and protecting species. And these hatcheries are very synergistic with our program. We would struggle to replace the fish that are hatched in these hatcheries and used throughout the state. And I would like to say, as an avid fly fisherman, if you've never held a cutthroat trout in your hand in a wilderness stream, you're missing an important part of life. So come to Western Colorado next summer and we'll do that. Thank you.
Sounds like a good offer. Representative Mitch Bush.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise in strong support of Resolution 01, Senate Resolution, Joint Resolution 017. Yes, it is not in my district, but I had to take the bait here. In my district, of course, we have the Colorado River
Lucky
Basin.
I don't fine for bad jokes.
Oh. All right, thank you. We have the Colorado River Basin. We have the Yampa, a major tributary to the Colorado. We have the Eagle, a major tributary to the Colorado. We have Blackgore Creek. We have the Elk River in Routt County, all major tributaries. They are also major economic assets because of these fish. These fish provide both for our obvious industries, that is guiding, and also for people who simply come to our counties to fish, which a heck of a lot do, but they also provide this sense for our citizens that we do have protected rivers that have fish, particularly our state fish, in them. I would strongly urge support for this. Thank you.
Representative Wilson.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I too rise in strong support of this resolution. Thank Representative Hamner for bringing it. This is a major issue, not just in Colorado, but across the United States. This is happening across the United States with all of the hatcheries. And ironically, at another time I was up here and I said, well, what are you going to do about these resolutions? I think that's our challenge as members of this body. We listen to the resolution, we say, thank you very much, that's good, and we forget about it. So we need to be doing something about this resolution also. And ironically, on March the 20th, the third Thursday, the topic of conversation for the Sportsman's Caucus, we're bringing people in to address the hatchery issue so you can find out more about it and be able to find out what you can do about that. So that's at noon on Thursday the 20th. And not only do I support this resolution, but we'll support the action to get something done about it. So thank you, Representative Hamner.
Seeing no further discussion, is there objection to taking a voice vote? Seeing none, we'll proceed in that manner. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, no. The resolution is adopted. Mr. Kohler, we're actually going to open for co-sponsors. Mr. Kohler, can you open the machine for co-sponsors?
That's fine.
Close the machine. Representative Hamner.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And I just wanted to introduce to you a County Commissioner from Lake County, Bruce Hicks, who's here with his wife today. So please welcome them to the chamber. Thank you.
Announcements and introductions. Representative Labuda.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members of the Committee on Legal Services, I know it's not really anywhere near noon right now, but remember that we do have a committee at noon today in HCR 112. I hope to see you there. Thank you.
Representative Primavera.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. You all received notice on your desk this morning along with a nice little breakfast bar. Monday, there will be an update on the Child Fatality Review Bill that we passed last year, and also presentations on failed adoptions and rehoming, and it keeps children safe. So this will be Monday, March 10th from 12 to 1 in room 356, and lunch will be provided.
Representative Duran.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The Joint Budget Committee will meet at 1:30.
Any further announcements or introductions? Seeing none, Madam Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that the House stand in recess until 1 p.m. this afternoon, at which point we will adjourn until 10 a.m. Monday, March 10.
Seeing no objection, the House will stay in recess until 1 p.m. today. We'll see you back here at 10 a.m. Monday morning. Have a great weekend.